Hi there, I'm the neuromuscular mechanic, and today we're going to be talking about ultrasound-guided chemodenervation of the flexor digitorum brevis, the flexor hallucis brevis, and the quadratus plantae. So quite a handful there. My disclaimers, again, the videos that you see are of myself, normal muscle echo texture. Individuals that have spasticity will have increased echogenicity often to their muscles. Now, these injections, I often don't do them routinely. I will consider them if toe flexor spasticity or dystonia is not being optimally managed by injecting the long toe flexors, so the FDL, the FHL. And if I do inject them, I'm using small doses. So if we're talking about Botox or Xeomin, generally less than 20 to 25 units of muscle. So to start with the flexor digitorum brevis and the quadratus plantae, you can take your ultrasound probe, put it in short axis over the plantar surface of the foot, generally the mid to proximal third of the foot. Now the FDB will lie superficial to the quadratus plantae, and the benefit of ultrasound versus EMG injection is that the injection under ultrasound in plane allows you to enter with the needle from the side of the foot rather than the sole, which is less painful. So let's take a look here. So here I am in the midfoot, probe in short axis, left is medial, right is lateral, and I'm flexing my toes here to show you the muscles. And so I have my overlying muscle, the FDB or flexor digitorum brevis, which is generally larger than the quadratus plantae, and then deep to that, the quadratus plantae. And so if I was injecting these muscles, I could bring a needle in from in plane from the medial aspect to the FDB, and then I could also consider the quadratus plantae. And so again, there's the muscles just sort of moving around a little bit. So now we're going to move on to the flexor hallucis brevis. So again, take your ultrasound probe, put it in short axis over the plantar foot. But this time, start approximately 3 to 4 finger breaths from the first metatarsal phalangeal joint, sort of overlying the metatarsal bone. Now there's two muscle bellies to the FHB. The medial is the largest, and the heads run on either side of the FHL tendon. So if you can identify that tendon, you can identify this muscle. And I'll show you that here. So what I've done is there's my FDB and my quadratus plantae. I'm moving a little bit more distally and a little bit more medially, overlying the first metatarsal. And overlying that is my flexor hallucis longest tendon, which is really easy to identify. And this here is in short axis. What I'm going to do here in a second is I'm going to flip the probe to long axis just to show you the course of the tendon to convince you that that's the flexor hallucis longest tendon. So there it is. Now what I'll do shortly is then I'm going to basically rotate that probe back to long axis to again show you that FHL tendon. So there I am in short axis, the FHL tendon there. And what I'm doing now is I'm flexing my toes. And what you might appreciate is medial and lateral to the FHL tendon, there are two muscle bellies that are moving. And those two muscle bellies, as I've identified here, are the two muscle bellies of the flexor hallucis brevis or FHB. So again, if I wanted to inject this muscle, often you could come in plane from medial to lateral, get that medial head, which often tends to be the largest. So that's sort of how you can identify this. And again, here's me moving the toes a little bit more. So that ends the video. I'm the neuromuscular mechanic, and I hope you found today's video handy. Take care.